Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kick off the much awaited mini summit with Coach Sam. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know if you can hear my voice. Just drop in the comment section if you can hear my voice. Let's roll. Let me know if you can hear my voice. Just leave a comment in the chat room to tell me you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a powerful day, an auspicious moment to have you online. This is the mini summit with Coach Sam, streaming live on Zoom and live on Facebook. Bearing any network challenges, we are expecting to host, as of this morning, 210 people registered for this program, and I find it quite delightful. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. So we're going to start off immediately because right now our first speaker is supposed to kick off. This is a very simple run, very simple run. We're going to have our first roll from 10 to 12, and then our second roll from 2 to 5, and then our third roll will be 7 to 9 p.m. So I want to join you to participate in as many sessions as possible, the same link, the same password to join these entire conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, this entire program has been sponsored by Rehoboth Center for Elderly Care, run by Morayo Ebo. And I will be sharing some details about them as we make progress. So I want to quickly call on our first Sherry, if there's a word like that. Someone I love with all my heart. He is a son, he is a vibrant publisher, one of the best publishers to have come out of West Africa. And of course, if you know Emmanuel Olatunji, we call him the exceptional Emmanuel, the exceptional being. Of course, that's what Tebeba means, the exceptional being publishing company. And so I want to say, he's our first ever speaker on this platform, and he's going to be dishing out some perspectives. I'll be asking him some questions, and we will be on the roll. So, good morning, EGA. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. I am awesome. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
You are awesome.
I'm good. Fantastic.
Right. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Okay, so EGA, let's meet you. Tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. Let's roll.
Okay, so my name is Emmanuel. I'm the CEO of Owolabi Global Publishing Limited. As my dad, as I usually call it, Sam said, it's the fastest and one of the best publishing firms in Africa. And that is just the truth. Our works and writers, authors, and online entrepreneurs. On Teliba Academy, we train people on the needed skills that they need in order to be able to live a life of influence and affluence for themselves. And finally, I'm the founder of Teliba Books, and that is the first, online platform where.
So, EGA, I suspect that your AirPods or some sound, there's an interference on your sound from your end. So can we try the sound of your device instead of the AirPods? Let's test it.
How about now?
Okay, I think it's better. Hello, everyone. Is that better now? Edgar, say something. Let's hear you. Just say anything.
How about now?
Perfect, 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 perfect. Good. So let's quickly go all over it again. Tell us about yourself and what you do. Quickly, let's go.
All right. Okay. So like I said, my name is Emmanuel Olatunji, aka EGA, the Exceptional Being, and I'm a writer and publisher. I'm the founder of Tebiba Global Publishing Limited, one of the fastest and one of the very best publishing firms that you can find in Africa right now. I'm also the lead tutor of Tebiba Academy, and that is the first online school for writers, authors, and creative. At Tebiba Academy, life of impact for themselves. Then finally, I'm the founder of Tebiba Books. And Tebiba Books is the first online platform in Africa where authors can publish their book in various formats, both in ebook, paperback, and also audiobook. And that is also where readers can kind of get free access to read and listen to audiobooks as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, bro. Okay, so there's something they normally say. They normally say, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it inside a book. I think that that has been over-exaggerated. So I can imagine what it feels like promoting and projecting and selling a publishing business. How did it feel? What were the challenges that you had to face when you were starting out? If you were to enumerate top 3 challenges that you faced when you were starting out, what would they be like?
Thank you very much, sir. So first of all, I didn't just start out as a publisher. I didn't just start out that, okay, I want to become a publisher. First of all, I was a writer and I'm still a writer. And that was how I started. And one of the very first challenges encountered here for me. So they was like, what's this thing you are calling writing? At that time, a lot of people were not really associating themselves with writers. However, I kept at it, and before long, I discovered various means where I can, monetize my writing skills. One of them is ghostwriting. So I was ghostwriting for clients, and I realized that after ghostwriting for them, need. Can I go on, sir?
Yes, you can go on.
Okay. So the second one definitely would be, okay, now this is what I really want to do. So how can I really get people to trust me? How can I get, more clients and all of that? So that is the second challenge I'm going to say I had, when I just started. Then the third one, which is, oh my God, that's the monetization aspect, that is the profit aspect. Because okay, if I'm
Sorry.
If I'm kind of seal a deal with a client, maybe today, and maybe that deal take a month, it might take me about maybe another 3 months before I could kind of see somebody else that would, trust me. And, if I'm not getting deals like that, there's no how money can come in. So those are just the 3 major challenges I had when I just started.
Wow, these are very profound challenges, very profound challenges. And I can imagine how this is going to probably help someone here, who is wondering how to take on the Nigerian business terrain. I want to think that in as much as these challenges were there from the beginning, sometimes they are still there with us at different levels, and different graduations. So how do you currently tackle these challenges amongst other challenges? How do you currently tackle them?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Of course, I can't say just one thing. It's a couple of several other things, but one of them is that it's my personal development. I'm somebody that is very key on personal development, and that is why I come to really respect Coach Sam a lot, and I just so much love everything that he represents, because I know that he's someone that is very strong on personal development as well. And that was what even inspired me to kind of decide to go into coaching, not because of I really wanted to maybe really become a coach, but it's because I believe that it will help me first of all, then it will also impact any other thing that I want to do. So that's one of these things that I'm going to say that helped me. That's at one stage, my father here, so Coach Sam, has given me several discounts in so many of his trainings that I've attended. Another thing is that I buy books a lot. So I find it easy to just buy it. Once I know that, okay, this thing is going to add value to me, I go all ahead, I invest in myself. So basically, I would say that investing in myself, seeking knowledge, learning from people that have gone ahead. I'm somebody that, okay, I learn from afar, even though maybe I don't really come too close. The truth is that I'm paying keen attention. You may not even know, and I'm studying you very, very well. So those are the several things that have really helped me to tackle some of these challenges.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, please, you can post your questions in the chat room, and I would question our speakers with your question. I already have one question in the chat room, so I'm going to suspend my questions for now to ask you this question. Someone says, the challenges you have named are the challenges she is also going through. How did you overcome naysayers from your loved ones? All those enemies and family members that seem to project negative energy on you. How have you been able to manage them and overcome them?
Okay, thank you very much. So the first thing is that I was clear about what I wanted to do with my life. I was very clear. At a point in my life, I realized that I did not want my my means of income to be fixed in a particular location, because I started working since I was 16. I started fending for myself, and I know how difficult it was for me. So okay, they are making money from the comfort of anywhere they are and all of that. So that's really interested me. So to cut the long story short, I was very clear. I knew that, okay, I don't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. Like, I want to get to a stage whereby I will be able to stand on my own. So that's now brings me to the next question, which is, what do I have? What do I have in me that can actually help me to build the kind of life that I desire to live? And before I got to that stage in my life, the truth is that I had always thought that I did not have any skill in me. But thank God, fully into writing. That was the only thing. That was the only thing I had passion for. That was the only thing I could do. So even though every other person was like, you don't know what you are doing and all of that, of course, it was not really palatable. It was not really a good feeling. But I knew that, okay, this is my skill. This is what I could do. Because before then, I have been, because of all that I've written and they've read. So I knew that, okay, if I'm to go ahead and turn this thing into a monetizable skill, I knew that I'm still going to attract people who would be able to entrust me with their money, and then they'll pay me. Although at that time, people around me did not see the possibility in that. And that was why they were kind of discouraging me and all of that. But the next thing is that I had to believe in myself. I was clear, number one. Then the second thing is that I believe strongly in myself. I believe that, okay, if I'm to go all out to do this, I know that I will be able to achieve the result I want. So clarity, clarity and believing in yourself. Then the third one is determination, because at a point in your life, the going will get tough, but then you need to be determined. So I was determined, especially those times whereby, if I can tell you, the first amount I was paid in writing was about 600 naira for about 2,000 word article, like, and I was doing it, but I was doing it with joy, 600 naira, and I was doing it because at that time nobody could really employ me. So I suddenly, I saw a friend that they were willing to be paying me 600 naira for a 2,000 word article. I was very glad, I was excited, but that was the beginning for me. And from there, I grew my skill, I developed myself to the point whereby I could now charge 10K, from there 20K, 100K. I remember the very first day somebody said he's going to pay me 100,000 naira for something that I would have done for 10K. And the person said he's going to pay me 100,000 naira. And in fact, seriously, I thought I cheated him, because after he paid me, I was having guilt in my heart, but like, this is something that I would have done, because I told him that, okay, just pay me any amount. So thank God I even said pay me any amount, because if I had told him that, okay, this amount I would have charged him 10K. And if he even plead that 10K is too much, I would take like 9K, I will still collect it. So when I just told him, just pay me any amount, because I've developed relationship with him. And he said, okay, he was even pleading. When he was pleading and saying, please, I know this thing, I know your skill, I value you, I know writing is not easy. I was thinking, this man wants to pay me like 5K or 4K, but I will still take it. When he mentioned 100,000 naira, I couldn't believe my ears. And to cut the long story short, that was just how I started. And since then, my mom, that she was kind of looking perplexed the very first day I told her that I was going to go into writing fully. Today, she's one of my biggest fans. Every day on her WhatsApp, she promotes all my products, everything. Wow. I'm a proudest son now. So
I love this story. I love this story. When you said the first time somebody paid you 100K, it just took me down memory lane. Oluwa, I recall that 2010, when I started coaching, my first coaching fee was 5K per session. And I remember that when the first time somebody paid me 60K, 2011, I was saying, this money can be made, though. I couldn't see. It was such a heartwarming payment. So I can relate. There's a question that has been posted that is just like my next question. My next question was going to be, what motivates you? And someone already has asked in the chat room, what gave you the drive to still continue to push despite all the challenges? Which looks like my question. What exactly, every morning, what would you say is your motivation?
Thank you. I love that question so much. Anytime I'm asked that question, the answer is always one, and that is poverty. And what do I mean? I hate poverty. I detest poverty with passion, because I was born in poverty. I grew up in poverty. I lived with poverty for so many years of my life that my life, I never thought I was going to be. In fact, people that knew me from age 1 to like 16, to 16 and like 18, if they see me today, they can never believe it. Like they are always like, no, it is a completely different person, completely. It's just as if maybe maybe a reincarnation of who I was before. So, for someone who was born in one room, a very tiny room, the window is done with wood and stuff like that. So you will never expect me. And I saw what poverty did to my family. Like, there was no love. Because everyone is not happy. So the emotions are always negative. So as a result, I knew that, okay, this is not the kind of life I want for myself. So if anybody asks me today that what motivates me, it's because I don't want to be poor. So I cannot be lazy. So child that will help my life, that will impact my life. Before I do it, I cannot wait for anybody that will tell me to follow people like Coach Sam and study them and see what they do. I cannot wait for anybody to tell me that, because I know where I'm coming from. I know that if I don't do what I need to do, then the results will be very, very evident. Like, I will have to probably suffer the kind of circumstance that my own parents suffer, and I don't want that for myself. And in fact, my parents didn't give me most of what any child would have desired,
Wow.
from their parents.
Wow.
And today, of course, I love my parents. Today, by the special grace of God, I'm taking care of them. I mean, as young as I am. In fact, the last time I sent money to my dad, he was so happy, But what I'm trying to say is that I want to give my own children most of what I wasn't given.
Fantastic.
So that's another motivation for me.
Fantastic.
Yes, the ability for me to be able to be a father that they could be proud of that. And if they grow up, I don't want to rely on them. If they want to do anything for me, yes, it should be. I want to be very comfortable myself, that they will not feel like maybe they owe me something, or maybe my daddy suffered. No, I don't. So those are the things that really, really motivates me today. And that's why I have to have sense. I have to have sense, honestly, because I know that this time of my life, Dad said one thing to me one day, and he must have forgotten, like he's forgotten. He told me, he said that most of what you are doing your age. I mean, I was not like, what you have actually, there's a way he said it. I could not really say that most of what you are doing your own age, and I'm so impressed. Like, I did not do it in my own time. He said it somehow like that. So things like that usually motivates me, and I'm grateful to God that yes, as we are making progress, and of course, I've not gotten to where I desire to be, but
EGA,
trust me, my life is better.
I am very proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, this week, EGA is going to clock 30 this week. Abi?
No, not this week.
Okay, very
not
soon,
this week.
right?
It's January. Yeah,
January.
Very soon, yeah.
So guys, we're talking to someone who has an established publishing business, who has staff, who has a wife and 2 children, who is doing very well, at his level, and he's just 29. I just want that to sink in, because, there is this stereotype around young people that we have created, like they are all, distracted, they are all wayward, they don't know what they're doing. It's not a correct stereotype. And I'm particularly proud of EGA. Let me tell you 2 things that EGA did that blew my mind. When I wrote, But What Do I Know? And we were sharing the pre-orders at 3,500 Naira. EGA said he was not going to pay a pre-order fee. He was asking me how much is the original commercial price. I told him that it was going to sell for 5,500 Naira. EGA did not pay for 1 copy. He paid for 5 copies at first and still bought another 5 copies at the original cost price. He refused to pay pre-order price. And he did that twice. He did that again when we did Based on Logistics. EGA came to Abuja from Lagos, paid his transport fare, paid his hotel bills just to attend our EQ and anger management certification. So when you see people that are all out for what they really want, I think they deserve all the encouragement. And that is why I believe that I'm one of his #1 fans. I would always support EGA because he has put his money where his mouth is. And he's such a cool-headed gentleman. Now, I'm going to ask you, EGA, who are your influences? And if you permit me, I want to say, excluding my name, because the temptation for you to mention my name will be there. I would like you to exclude my name. Who are your influences? I'd like you to share at least 3 different influences, people that you look up to, or belief systems, or ideologies, or philosophies. Who are your influences, really?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. You said I should exclude you, although I wanted to mention you. All right. So, whether dead or alive, right?
Yes, dead or alive.
Okay. The first person I would like to mention is Emmanuel. Yes, is the first person I would like to mention, and the reason is because of his teaching on purpose. His teaching on purpose gave me a lot of clarity in my life. Like, it made me. There are some things that I have been doing, but I never knew the meaning. You know, there are some steps I took, yes, earlier on in my life that I never even knew what I was doing. But when I started reading Miles Monroe's book, when I started listening to his teachings and all of that, wow, it gave me an aha moment. I was now clear. I was like, oh, so that thing I did that last time, so this is what it is called. Oh, okay. So Miles Monroe is number one. And the second person I would like to mention is John Obidi. Man, I've been following this guy since, BlackBerry days. Like, I just came across him just like I would meet anybody online. But since then, I've I love is he's very frank. He will tell you how it is. So John Obidi is another positive influence in my life. Like, I love following his teachings because it makes me not to rely on myself. It makes me not to rely that, okay, maybe I've arrived or anything. I mean, this is somebody that he has spoken in different countries of the world. So definitely listening to people like that will always put you on your toes. Then lastly, yes, Fela Durotoye. Yes, Fela Durotoye. Like, I love the way the guys speak. I just love a lot of things about it. I have so many people that are, because I follow a lot of influencers. But if I'm to mention the top three, I think, excluding the Sam that said I should not mention, because every day, sir, once you send your broadcast, once I'm opening my WhatsApp and the notifications are coming in and I see Coach Sam, I will go and read. There is no broadcast you share, nothing you share, and I will not read. So, okay, any female influencer, somebody said that any female influencer. Wow, I have many of them because, yes, I have many of them because by the virtue of the work I do, I've been able to work with so many phenomenal people, like people that I even like. Some of them, I started calling them mothers. Yes, so the likes of Kemi Ogunkoya, she's a leadership and management consultant. I worked on her book. I oversaw the production of her book. But then this woman is a major influence in my life. Like, she's unassuming, she's very humble, but then she is a good impact in my life. Then then this woman took aspect, honestly, like, thank God I met her at the right time. When I became a father, I thought this fatherhood is not easy. So especially, when you have boys, I have 3 boys, 3 solid boys. So yes, 3. So you can imagine. So, but having this kind of people in my life, honestly, at the point I will notice some behaviors and I'll be wondering, I'll be like, So if I just meet her like this, she will just that's their state, that's the level, that's the kind of behavior you start seeing. So this is how you should respond. So I will now be calm again. So these people are major influence in my life.
Wow, well done, EGA. Well done. 2 more questions before I let you go. The first question is, if you were to start all over again, what would you do differently?
If I'm to start all over again, what would I do differently? That one is a big question because when I started, I tried a whole lot of things. I tried seeking mentors. I wrote to several organizations. I did a whole lot of stuff, but it just didn't work out. So, but then I think if I'm to try all over again, I think I will still follow. Maybe I would have tried more. I think maybe I didn't reach out to more people enough, or maybe I didn't do enough. I think I would have probably intensified on what I did, then. And what I did was just what I mentioned, I reached out to a lot of people, but maybe I didn't reach out to enough people, or maybe I didn't show more enthusiasm that they were really looking at. So I think I would have just done more.
Wow. Well done, EGA. Well done. Sometimes when we say we could have done things differently, some of the lessons I have learned is that what you have done is what you were, how you navigated your path is usually a design. We have come so far from a design, out of the volumes written about me, there is a design that we have been tailored to follow. And so it's a very good thing that when we share what we would have done differently, it's an inspiration for those that are looking up to us. And it's also a charge for us for the future, because 10 years from now, when we look back at where we are, we'll be laughing at the things we thought were milestones today. We'll be like, why was I feeling like I was on top of the world 10 years ago when I was just in some form of penury? But it's such a beautiful conversation we've had with you today. I would like for you to, ladies and gentlemen, remember you can post questions to EGA. We still have about 15 minutes with EGA before we go to our next speaker. So you can please post your questions in the chat room. Any question you want to ask him is welcome. But I'd like to ask EGA one last question from me. And I need to mention that every session here is being recorded and will be hosted live on my YouTube channel immediately after the sessions have closed. So it means that this content will be viewed from everyone all over the world. So EGA, someone is somewhere in the world and is watching this event, maybe a replay. How can they reach you? What can they buy from you? I'd like you to take this chance to sell yourself, sell your company, and provide the details through which you can be reached. Email address, phone number, WhatsApp, whatever. Go all out.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate this opportunity. So, yeah, thank you, sir. So, yeah, I provide a whole lot of services, but I'm going to streamline them into just a couple. And the first one will be writing services. So I am a ghostwriter. I write for individuals and organizations. So if you have any writing challenges and that you need solution for, or maybe you have some writing tasks that you need to do, but maybe you feel you don't have the skill or you don't have the time to do them, then you can reach out to Ross at Stebiba. We will handle them for you. You know, whether you want to become an author, you know that there is a story in you to share with the world, or there is a message that is burning inside of you that you really want to share, but you don't just know how to start. Don't trouble yourself. Just reach out to us. Tell us, send us maybe voice or a recording of what you want to share, and we will turn it into a manuscript for you. That is what we do. We've done it for several people, and we can do it for you. Then, if you feel you already have a manuscript, your own is that you already have a manuscript, but you don't know how to get it published. We can do it for you. At Stebiba, we can publish your book in ebook, audiobook, and also print it for you. So we are full package. One thing that interests people when they come to us is that they don't need to go helter-skelter anymore, looking for maybe an editor or looking for somebody that will do cover design. We will do everything. We have a full package for you. So if you are looking for a publisher that you can trust with your work, with your intellectual property. I've been doing this for years, like 3 years now. And our story has been, you will not find anywhere online, this guy is a bad guy, or this guy will collect your money, you will never, it has been testimonial upon testimonial. So that is what I do. Then finally, if you just want to take some of our courses, yes, you can visit the Stebiba Academy. That's www.stebibaacademy.com. They are fantastic courses. They're writing courses, book marketing courses, and the likes. Some people have really taken our courses and here's some testimonials. Then how can you reach me? Through WhatsApp, very fast. 081 86 80 83 23. 081 86 80 83 23. If you want to see some of the other services that we provide, yes, you can check www.stebiba.com. Thank you, sir.
Write everything you've said, your phone number, your website address, your IG handle, so these details you shared, kindly write them in the chat room. I can see people are asking for your contact details, people are asking for contact address. Please, I'd like you to share every possible detail you want us to share. So everybody can take it from the chat room, and my team would also repost on Facebook. We have live streaming on Facebook as we speak. On my wall on Facebook, this session is currently being streamed live on Facebook. So it is a large audience we're speaking with, and we find it very humbling that we can have you. So any other question for
I'm
EGA?
doing that.
Any other question from EGA? For EGA from anyone? This is your opportunity to dig into the mind of the exceptional being. And it's such a privilege to have hosted him this morning. Any other question you want to hear from him? How he did what he did? You know, somebody's asking me secretly here. They said, what is your current turnover in figures? Is it 9 figures, 12 figures, 22 figures? I said, I don't know the answer. Is this something you want to talk about? I'm sure people are wondering, do guys that publish books, do they make money? I'm sure that's what people are thinking, like, is this a profitable business?
It's a profitable business by the special grace of God. Yeah, this year it has been awesome, like, because we've been working back to back. We've been having clients back to back. So yes, we figure, and like, just because I was launching my book to last year, which is How to Never Be Broke, so that people will not think that, okay, this guy is broke and you wrote a book on how to never be broke. So I shared that. But this year, of course, I've not mentioned anything about our this thing. But yeah, last year we crossed 13 million naira. This year, I can say with all confidence that we even did more than that. So let me just leave it there.
Wow.
By God's special grace.
That's massive. That's good. Good numbers there. Good numbers there. Fantastic. In fact, one thing about EGA that I should also talk about, I recall hosting our Disruptive Marketing Strategy Clinic in September. EGA, we were going to have 20 participants. We ended up having 54 participants. And EGA volunteered, he offered to send his book, How to Never Be Broke Again. He offered to actually send 50 copies. And I said, no, this thing is money, you know, and he sent 20 copies. He paid the cost of sending them to Abuja, 20 free copies for the first 20 people that registered for the Disruptive Marketing Strategy Clinic. See, if there's something I know about EGA, is that he's a giver. I have personally experienced him at different levels. Humble, approachable, easygoing, level-headed, but you see that giving part, I can't explain how he does it, and I do not take it for granted, EGA. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much for being there every single time. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we do not have any more questions for EGA, I'd like everyone to celebrate him in the chat room. Just put in an emoji that celebrates this young chap, this vibrant, the future, the present. He's such a powerful personality. I'd like you to please celebrate him in the chat room. I want to see you share the love and appreciate EGA. At this point, I'm going to invite our sponsor. I told you today, our sponsor for this event is Rehoboth Center for Elderly Care, that is run by Nurse Morayo Ebo. And I'm going to invite her for the next 5 minutes to speak to us about her organization, what they do for the elderly, what it means, and how they go about it. Hi, boss. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you on. You look so beautiful.
Wow, thank you very much, sir.
Correct.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Please, we want to officially thank you for sponsoring the first ever mini summit on my platforms, and I do appreciate your generosity. Despite how much sacrifices you make for so many people, I'm very aware of the sacrifices you make around our cycles. I'd like you to introduce yourself, introduce your organization, and tell us whatever we need to know about your organization, the Rehoboth Center for Elderly Care. You have the floor, boss. Let's roll.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Morayo. I am a critical care nurse, and I'm a passionate nurse. Everyone who knows me to be very passionate about my patients. If you have not encountered me, I think you should do that. That way you know how passionate I am with my clients. And I can be very, 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 very strict.
Very fair.
All right, thank you so much for having us sponsor this event. In fact, we don't take it for granted at all. It is an opportunity for us to tell people what we do. Rehoboth Center for Elderly Care. In fact, let me start with this. How many of us have elderly people around us? If you have, let me see if you have a father, mother, uncles, aging parents, anyone. How many of us? All right, I can see some hands up there. All right, how many of us believe that they get optimal care in this country? How many of us? If you believe that the kind of care they get is okay, give it a score. You can say 1 over 10, 5 over 10, 2 over 10, just give it. Okay, I can see Coach Sam. Oh, someone said not at all. Wow. Are you satisfied with the level of care that they have? Wow. Nkechi said 1 over 90. So we can see that this is a well-relatable program in our society. What we have outside there, dissatisfying, no. Yeah. So that is why we have come to change the narrative. Okay. So for us at Rehoboth Elderly Care, what we do is we care for the elderly. We are very passionate about their health. We're very passionate about their emotions. We're very passionate about how they feel getting care. I will just tell us one thing about a client I saw not too long ago. She had suffered for 2 years, not knowing what is actually wrong with her. And she could literally not even eat until we came in contact with her. And so by the time we do that, by the time we saw her, we just knew that she needed a specialist care. Okay. And referring her to the main doctor she's meant to see has saved her life. So I want every one of us to know that Rehoboth Elderly Care, what we do in our company, we provide strategic care for these elderly. A lot of them are lonely. They don't have people to talk to. A lot of them don't even have how to source for medications. Some don't even have their close relatives around. If I ask you, every one of us in the chat room, how many times in a week do you speak to your parents? How many times do you some will call, okay, but some of them don't even have people around them. So for us at the Elderly Care, we provide call services, we provide healthy tips for them. As they age, looking around them, take for instance, if the structure they live in does not even have the necessary things to prevent them from falling. Do you know that if an elderly person falls, it takes like 3 times? If it's a child, that child will take just 6 weeks to heal if he has a fracture. Now imagine somebody who is 60 and above, slipping and falling. So the kind of structures that you should have in your aging parents' apartments, we have volunteer doctors who are all out, ready to support these people. I personally, I take it upon myself every week to write. I have over 120 thereabouts in my circle that I reach out to weekly with healthy tips on how to stay healthy and age gracefully. So we have a link already up. I can see it's been up. You can just look up our website and see what we do and how you can also partner with us. I will stop here. As time goes on, we get to meet more and more. Thank you so much, boss.
Boss of life.
Over to you.
Boss of life. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nurse Mariah is passionate about nursing. It's in her blood. Nurse Mariah has, so I had struggled with high blood pressure for a while, and when she faced me, even myself, I can't wonder, say, what is the problem? Is it not me that has the challenge? Abi, which one is your own? She's such a firm and strict nurse. And I have seen, you know, when my parents called me and said, who is this? This nurse Mariah, this is your nurse Mariah now, wow. Calling, sending messages, checking, sending supplies. She will buy fruits and share to elderly people, take their drugs to them, call them, ask them what their challenges are. Those that are depressed, she will visit them. I've seen her do this back to back to back to back. And I'm privileged to be on her board because this is something I like to lend my voice to. So I would like to encourage every one of you, please visit the website. The links are in the chat room. Just go visit the website. You can choose to volunteer, for instance. No, there is no home for them. So Nurse Mariah's, the strategy is not to bring them to a home. That makes them more lonely. The strategy is to take care of them in their homes, where they are in their familiar terrain. That's the better strategy. It makes them have a longer life. So there is no home for them. The work here is that we visit them, we work with their families, their children and their loved ones and their siblings, so that they are catered for in their familiar terrain. You know, her work has shown that when these elderly people are taken out of their familiar terrain, it increases their stress levels, and that creates more problems for them. So the strategy is not to take them away. The strategy is to take care of them in their environment. So you can become a volunteer. How do you become a volunteer? The link is in the chat room. What do volunteers do? You can call, you can follow up, you can visit, you can take drugs, you can take food, you can take clothing, you can take beverages. Those are volunteers those are the kind of things volunteers do. If you're a medical person, whether you're a dentist, an optometrist, a nurse, a doctor, a surgeon, whatever you do, you can also volunteer as a professional in that area so that you can support these elderly people. And of course, you can enlist your parents. Like she told you, she has multiple WhatsApp groups where parents, their numbers are populated and they receive daily broadcasts from her, encouraging them, inspiring them, and taking care of them. So with Kinix Ajigs, this your name is so funny. Her access for care. So we don't have a boundary. The system is virtual such that if we have volunteers anywhere in the country, they will do the work that we need to do. Once we know the location of an elderly person, we will need a volunteer in that location. So there's no axis per se. So the more people we enlist, the more volunteers we would need. We don't have, it's not a physical house or home. No, that's not the strategy. The strategy is that anywhere there's an elderly person, whether it's abroad, we want their details. Then we will look for volunteers in that location, train the volunteers, work with the volunteers who will now be taking care of the elderly people in that location. So this is a global effort that does not have a physical concentration. So please remove your mind from a physical setting. It's more of a dynamic setting. So we need everyone on board. This is absolutely voluntary, but this is an initiative that is very, very, very important. Fantastic. Thank you, Nurse Mariah and the Rehoboth Center for Elderly Care. Please, ladies and gentlemen, the details are in the chat room. Do us the favor of sharing. Don't just click the link and visit. Also share it across your networks and encourage people to support this vision. Now I'm going to our next speaker, the second ever speaker on this platform, someone that, if you know me, you know her because she's very close to my heart. Someone I've known for almost 2 decades, consistent, diligent, vibrant, a strong voice. I remember saying that if I'm looking for an example of a Christian, this is the number one that I know, because she's not just the talk and. She's a living embodiment of love. somebody that knows you to every extent and still loves you to every extent. She has labored, she has worked, very hardworking, very creative, very passionate, and someone I love with all my heart. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite my, it's such a very interesting relationship. She's a younger sister, but she's also my pastor. And she's someone I'm very accountable to. If you look at our age difference, you'll be wondering, but why she face me? I'm wondering, if you see, take it easy with me now. What did I do you? Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my sweetheart and my kidsies and my lovely, lovely voice, Mrs. EMisiOluwa Owolabi. Welcome, boss.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Sam, for having me. It's quite a dynamic relationship, I must say. It is taking different turns, and but we thank God that we are where. Over to you. I'm all ears.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, my G. I call her my G. Okay. I love Emisi. This one, I can say it anywhere. She's just something. And I like to say that her voice, I call her the unmistakable voice. Emisi's voice is unique. When you hear it anywhere, they say that kind of voice where even if the person don't die, this voice go raise that bed, that body. You see, what? Such a piercing voice, So Emisi, for those that are wondering, this lady that Coach is just going on and on and on about, who is this person? Who is Emisi? What does she do? What does she represent? Let's meet you first. Who is Emisi?
Okay, my name is EMisiOluwa Owolabi, and through speaking, I transform lives, businesses, and nation. And that could take different expressions. So as an expression, as a pastor, a prophet, a strategist, a teacher, a consultant, a coach, and how can you be inspired? How can you be transformed? And how can you revive where you are? How can you become a transformational leader? Meaning the ripple effect model. When you're better, you can make other people better. You can make your environment better. You can make lives better. And really just making known that God was not stupid. What we have with God, he knows he is God. He has his plan, which is for us to reconcile people, bring people, shed the light, be the light, and bring people back. But that's when you can have full wealth, which is mind wealth, which is physical health, mental health, spiritual health, your mind health, the totality. You can't do it outside of God. Wow. And that is how that's who I am, basically. So whenever I speak, I believe and hope and trust God that there will be transformation, either in lives, in individuals, in businesses, and nations. And I thank God I'm working gradually in those three dimensions. So that's who I am. So I wear different caps per time. Whatever I do is I speak.
P.I. Kai. Oh my goodness. Guys, you people should connect to Emisi. Hey. Well, anyway, we'll soon come to where she'll share her details. Because if you want to hear loving truth, as somebody will tell you, one thing about Emisi I love, she listens. She would hear God speak and tell you, and no matter how brutal that information is, there's a way she will say it, that they check you, they gauge your emotion. You guys, Emisi, go, they look you, this guy, they study your body language, say, hope this person is going to handle it well. She will now drop it. Emisi, you're a strategist. Wow. Emisi, tell us about your journey. How has it been? What have you gone through? I know that there's been so much, really, but for someone starting out, especially because you are a ministry-facing kind of a person, for someone that says, I really would like to do this thing, like speak with people, transform lives, especially with the backing of ministry kind of structure. But I'm afraid, how am I going to augur well? How am I going to weather the storm? So tell us about your journey, if you can.
I thank God for the opportunity of seeing different faces and seasons. So as ministry inclined as I am, and the journey is I'm just where I was working in the bank. There's a season where I was supporting Sam. There was a season where I was working with you, can help you to achieve more. How can you see the blessing in being multidimensional? So one of the things I would say is, if you're the person that you have different expressions, you are this idea, that idea, you are able to do all of these things, you need to, one, be able to acknowledge it. You are not cursed. It's not a problem, all right? I know they say of all trade, all those to deception. So I would say that give yourself to what God is doing in the now. What is it? What are you doing in the now? Develop yourself in that. As you build effectiveness, all right. I was saying to someone this morning, as you build effectiveness in a mountain, you begin to rise and influence other mountains from where you are, because effectiveness is a portable skill, regardless of where you are. You know.
Effectiveness is a portable skill.
Whether you're in ministries, all right. So for me, starting up was a case of learning to just follow. It felt so I could do this, I could do that, I could do all of those things, you know. So I've been working this path for 15 years now. And I've seen it evolve into many things. So what I say is this: it's like a seed. So when we started off, I know I have a flair for language. So I was doing French, all right. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to be a diplomat, but I love God so much, all right. And almost like I was responding to the seed He put in my heart, because I didn't just wake up like I love God. Thank God for the opportunity to, you know, just love Him, all right. And we all have been given that. It's just how we respond that determines how deep you go, all right. So I navigate coming out of the ground and all of that. Can you hear me? Okay, yes. Shouldn't men come? Shouldn't be part of this thing? It just started as that and eventually became that. And then as we're going there, I'm just seeing it break out. I have burden. I'm so big on presentation. So I have a love for, I was on radio at some point. If there's anything I've learned on this journey is allow God and partner with God and understand seasons, all right? But one of the things that's been constant is on this journey of ministry has been very constant. And I felt like every other thing was an add-on, was an expression that will come out from me. So I started doing event management, I started doing planning, and then eventually I landed in the bank. I was having a great time. I came out of the bank. I went back to radio and to build certain skills. One is consistency. One is being able to, you know, to apply yourself. One is staying true. So I've been able, God has helped me to just stay true. So that has helped me to build credibility, so much so that if I have the opportunity to train, so I was a certified therapist, when I train, that I carried that alongside, you know, the development of having to study the word, build yourself, bless life is a nature, it's become a nature. So whether I'm teaching, whether I'm instructing, whether I'm consulting, I have built some of this portable skills. So I mean, that lady with me. So right now, being that one expression, we've separated so many things. The dreaming strategy came out of it, is standing on its own. We have When Friends Pray standing on its own. We have Opportunities standing on its own. We have CE standing on its own. We have Ines of myself and my partner who's on the call standing on its own. Sitting on the board of an energy company standing on its own. I'm just seeing it produce. So what I would say, my life is a testament of faithfulness and diligence that bets more things for you. So you might not know all the full picture. I didn't see all the big picture, and we're still breaking grounds. Going to nations, going to different places to speak and encounter, you know, standing on its own. But one of the things that's interesting is, one of the things we started doing is having a prayer watch. So we have 8 watches, all right, on a daily basis, building a team. this year, prayer and teaching every day by 6 a.m. has been happening this year, because my husband said to me, like guys, every day, it has just been God. And it's not because I'm trying to prepare, it's just like an overflow. There's been a journey. And for that to happen, I saw God shut down some things and made me focus. So in as much as I'm multidimensional, past season, the assignment it wants is there, but the vision is still the same. Through speaking, I transform lives, businesses, and nations. So whatever is emphasizing in the season, when season one is emphasizing pastoring, I'm pastoring.
Yes,
The season is emphasizing coaching, I'm coaching. The season is emphasizing whatever is inside. I'm writing books, I'm writing. I'm doing strategy because I do strategy with businesses. I train leaders, and also whatever is highlighting. So there are people like that are multidimensional. There are people that God has given you one, and man, like the guy that spoke, the great man that spoke earlier, is pushing with the book and everything. If you notice, it too is breaking out. There's no one that you can't be faithful with one thing and it doesn't break out. I'm looking at Sam now doing something. I'm like, whoa. I remember Barnabas' house was where he started. He prints out this thing every day. He will send mails to people. What we're seeing as BC started before BBM. It was a mail that was sent to people one by one, and they'll print it out and share for those that don't have email like me then, So what happened is, when you are faithfulness is a currency that produces more. If you are faithful, all right, and diligent, be it a social media person, be it you are making hair, these are principles. I like to say things before I hand over to Sam again. Three things that have helped me, my journey, is understanding the person of Jesus, understanding the principles of Jesus, understanding the pattern of Jesus. These three things, not picking one of it, they are principles that whether you're an atheist and they are principles that you, so you shouldn't be surprised if you see people that are not faith-based making money or something. There are principles that they've connected with that. So it's unfortunate that people that say, oh, I love Jesus. The person of Jesus doesn't mean you break his principles. You need to engage his principles. One of the principles of Jesus is work. You must understand job and work. You need to work. Understand patterns of Jesus. How does it deal with you? What are the patterns of scripture? One of the patterns, you see that there's always a season, that season. I realized that, wait a minute, all I've done is this. Through speaking, I've truly, by the grace of God, transformed life, businesses, and nations. So if you are multidimensional, which I believe is some of the people the Lord and Sam has asked me to come and talk to here, just past season, what is it doing? Be faithful. Faithfulness is a currency.
Yes.
It doesn't know language. It doesn't know industry. It doesn't know faithfulness and stewardship. Meaning you sit with it, you work it out. All right, all the tongues you're speaking, all the spirituality, you have to bring it home. All right, it's not just for goosebumps, it needs to produce inside.
Not just for goosebumps. Chai.
You need to be strategy. All right, let me give an example. Sam, let me give this example. When a lot of people get stuck, and I'm here, if you're a faith-based person, we need to shift. You need to have a mind shift. All right. Sometimes people are used to people giving them money. All right. That's not the best of God is not just miracles and breaking protocol. The best of God is you being a blessing. So God wants to bless you so you can be a channel and bless people. All right. So if you don't get used to just how he does it, there are many ways God can do it, and it will move you. So for me, that's one phase. You need to migrate to that phase where then through the work, through faith. So don't waste spiritual energy. You're praying in tongues. You take it. Lord, what are you saying? What does this mean? I want to do something. I wrote my book, and the Lord gave me strategy on how to engage it. I didn't print in the country at that time. I was in debt. If I did not channel that, what I was receiving, those tongues, I would have been now, to be praying, oh God, whoa, talking to 10 people. I mean, Sam knows we're in a big hall for years, just doing the same thing I'm doing, screaming.
Yes.
Oh Lord, I'm training. I'll go to Apata. I remember Apata school. Go and be training their students while I was. So all the things I'm doing now is that God is expanding the capacity and trusting me. Faithfulness gives you access to be trusted with more. If you're faithful, you'll be trusted with more. So now we're going to nations, we're writing books. Now I'm training people every morning, minimum, to the glory of God, over a number of people, different people, young students, old pastors, leaders, corporate leaders, different people coming to train. I'm trained every morning on how to be better people and be the light. So that is my journey. That's my story. And it's the story of God's faithfulness.
My G, I'm sure you can feel the energy, guys. This is powerful. And I'm very convinced that this event was orchestrated for us to make a massive impact in 2022. I love what I hear. I love what I hear. My G, if you were to look back at this journey, 15 years and counting, I met you 2006. And I can categorically say that you are such a consistent human being. I don't know how you do it. You know, sometimes people think that, well, maybe she got married, then when she got married, she became more organized. Imisi had not even entered the University of Lagos when I met her. This ImisiOluwa they see. Since Peking, that's what she did. She knows what she wants. She goes for what she wants. Very diligent, like she said, very discerning. So this is an Imisi I've known that has been consistent for 2 decades. But Imisi, there are challenges you have been through, you've gone through. If you were to enumerate these challenges, if you were to summarize your top 3 challenges in these years of doing these things that you've been doing, what would be your top 3 challenges you've encountered?
The burden of being audacious. It takes, I put it this way, it takes discipline and humility to be audacious. Discipline because I didn't see any permits. We're doing crusade outside already, where God bless our soul. I don't even remember Jack and Jill, the daughter of Jack and Jill beside church, right? Yes, she passed on, but she gave me an opportunity before she died, right? And all she said was, I don't know, like, where did you get it from? And my background also, like Emmanuel, is my father, my late dad, thank God, was well exposed. Though I grew up and all those stories of all the spoons have disappeared, we're golden, we're rich, we're that. But when I go to our town, we don't say anything anymore. All right. But one of the things I realized that being planted in God. So what has helped me is being planted in God helped me to be audacious, but it was a challenge, guys. I must tell you, being audacious, believing something that you have not seen around in the physical. Then we're not doing ministries a lot now that we have different meetings. No, it was just the church, you know, pushing for interdenominational, which has been, I don't know where I picked it, must have been God, where I picked it from. The Lord just placed in my heart that it has to be something that 8 different believers, regardless of your denomination, when you come together, there was something you can birth. All right. So the burden of being audacious, which takes humility and you can just do so many things. If I decide to do something like whatever, and let me tell you this, I remember the Lord saying to me that my greatest challenge will not be the things that I cannot do. It will be things that I can do, but I've not been commissioned to do. So sometimes the enemy of best is the better you did yesterday or the good. So is that there are things I can do, but what is the ultimate that I've been called to do or created to do? So for instance, guys, your talent is not your calling. All right? Because you can sing doesn't mean you should wax an album. all right? So it could just be some of the things that can help you serve, all right? Because you are good in admin doesn't mean you want to open an administrative company. You might just be a good number 2 in an organization.
Wow.
So I had to learn that. It was a bit confusing because I mean I could do so many things. I was hosting. Sam, I remember one card. Sam did SO. Me, I did IAS because my name is I do one thing, you know. So for me, it was navigating that place of focus. Oh boy, I did it crying. I did it, you know, and then when the world is celebrating what's it called, visibility as significance, it might cost you to judge what you have as insignificant because it's not visible. And visibility is not
That's deep.
the same thing as significance, because you might not be visible and not significant, right? So it's not either or. It's just knowing where you should be, and also the burden of audacity, the training of focus, right? And stewarding the vision so that people can catch it. My God. In fact, the fourth one is now resources. Now, because of what I do is faith-based and social enterprise, you have to be very careful to ensure, as much as people have tried to do ministry, the business of ministry is not business. There are principles from business there are principles in the Bible that both business and ministry can do. So when you say we're taking principles of business to do ministry, you are not, the rules of business are from scripture as well, all right? So for instance, delegation, we see God model delegation in Genesis. We see Moses model delegation, all right? Some of these things, time management, confession, say to yourself, affirmation, these are all scriptures. Okay, so what I saw was that the carrying the vision, oh God. And I see a lot of people starting up, they're not following me. I'm like, what? It took 15 years and we're still owning some things to ensure we are aligning. We're changing some things. Last week I had a meeting with senior leadership. So carrying the vision long enough, and I've always knew about structure, but now I wish I had pursued it earlier. Because one of the things I'll tell anybody starting up, and my burden for people starting up, is create a platform where you have access to lawyers, you can register some things fast. Because now, started 15 years, I don't have official documentation until later. I have long enough for people to learn, for people to catch on the vision. To the glory of God now, we have staff, we have people, we have a body that in a way, some people are not in the country. We're launching the upline. We started the upline last year. We're trusting God to scale up and do it properly next year. So those are the 3 challenges. Carry this vision in a way that you are not disturbed, and you have to live the vision. Listen to me. You have to become the vision. So much so that people can then come, and you write it plain. People cannot come because people want people to just jump on your vision when you are not even convinced about what you're doing. There's a way you live with audacity, with focus, by the grace of God, that will compel people to buy in. So a lot of us have not got to that place of compelling to buy in, because it will take, and guys, it will take tears. It will take sacrifice. I remember when I was in the bank, it's when I left Sam, and I said, oh my God, I was in the bank, I never bought wig on. What did I do? I did not buy anything for myself. I did not, nothing. It was later I left. I remember first I bought wig on, because every resource was channeling. My vision was my funding, was my money was my money was serving the vision. A vision, your money is not serving, your time is not serving, your family is not serving, the people around you cannot even serve it. You need to leave that vision. So it got that point, and eventually
Olua. Oh.
God, and guess what? I can trust the faithfulness that's brought you this far. So those 4 things rather than the finance I mentioned. 1, the burden of being audacious. 2, the training of focus. 3, stewarding the vision until it become a compelling narrative that people want to plug their life in. All right, for God to send people to come and serve the vision or be part of what you're doing, you must be sure you're not wasting time. You believe enough in it. No matter how tired guys have cried, I've like, why is it my, oh God? No matter how much you get, there's a propelling power that allows me to rise up. And I can't take glory for it. I wish I could tell just 5 steps there. But God has helped me to walk this vision that is almost impossible not to believe, even for me. All right. And lastly is the finance. But those are just the 4 major things.
Wow. These 4 things you've mentioned, I'm looking at SubCan, that's just the trajectory. I think they are so powerful. They are so powerful, my G. I salute you. I am privy to your internal struggles. I recall sometimes we're talking and you will say, Sam, sometimes I feel this, I feel that, but then I hear the Lord will say this, and I look at you and I'm like, like you did try, very small package, but mighty dynamite, Jesus. My G, I know you are someone that is highly committed to, let me call it associations. Associations at levels that, I need to give you credit for being very modest. Sometimes the people I'm wondering, even I may know these people, they don't go hear word though. They don't go hear word, But I want you to tell me, who are your influences? Who would you say are the people that have shaped your becoming, that God has brought your way? And if you can tell us a minimum of 3, that would be nice. Your influences, and how have they shaped your becoming?
Right. Like what you said was so powerful. A lot of us, if there's anything God has helped me with, is goodwill. Is goodwill. And I think one of the ways you steward goodwill is to be thoughtful. I was saying with my partner before I came out, thoughtfulness will build your goodwill this way. A lot of us are not thoughtful in what we give to people, in the service we give to people, in our relationships. I mean, surprise people, bless people, love people, just be there. And that's one of the greatest secrets of my life. Aside from God and some is people. God, people. Even my staff, I've seen a staff turn down a job just to remain with me. I will negotiated, work from here, work for that job, work here. Of course, it doesn't mean I don't joke with my job. If you need to be fired, you will be fired. There's no sentiment about that. However, what it means, and I'm learning, but what I mean is the people. Now, talking about people that have influenced me, I feel one is, apart from my God, apart from my sister, apart from Sam, because I keep saying to people that is one of the trigger that made us make When Friends Pray male and female. I can never forget that day. He followed me to my house gate. I locked the gate on his first time they go out. He said, no, see, only 7 call. We not go love God. We not go do. And for me, I think it's also a mandate to make God relatable. And thank you, Jesus, for that opportunity. Just to make God relatable. It's not fictional. So aside from all these people, my dad, my dad taught me. I didn't see gender from my dad. My dad, there was no gender. I don't feel like I'm a girl. I can't talk. Popsy made us, bless his memory, made us talk. It wasn't the question of shut up there. You can ask me, why am I being quiet? You have conversation. So that made us very bold in terms of we can, regardless of where you are, you can ask anybody question. And my mom, well, bearda, meaning they're not going well because you are wearing orange and purple. You should not be feeling down. So, I thank God for that combination. But beyond my family, Sam, my sister, God, I would say Pastor Taiwo Dukoya. Pastor Taiwo models how to carry power with such humility. Wow. And he models the currency of integrity. There's no way you mention that man's name. I've been to places, a consultant has given me his number just because I say I attend Fountain of Life Church and now pastor a branch of Fountain of Life Church. All right, so that's that. Another person is Bill Johnson. Bill Johnson, Bethel, how you can infiltrate a system as a church. They don't make any decision in Redding, California. Like, they want to make decisions. Bethel is part of the decision. They have to make conversations. There was a time they were paying the salary of police for 2 years because they couldn't.
Wow.
The city, in fact, the airport has to be there because they're having conference. So I've seen how a body, faith-based, can be so impactful. Oh my God. And that is one of the missions in my life. how we can really be salt and light. So those guys influence me, their materials, how they're engaging, how they are teaching. I mean, not just words, not just they're speaking, they have a school of technology, they're going to Silicon Valley to minister to top guys, you know, just beyond what people see. And yet, despite all, you don't know half of it because they carry such humility. All right. So, and then the last one is, I think, Steve Harvey. I really love Steve. I love Steve because of his show, because that's me. The goofy.
Yes.
I'm so big. I'm gonna have my show. I've done live production in my head. You know, I'm writing books that will be acted as movies. You know, I'm so seeing the Tyler Perry kind of studio. I'm such a creative. I'm such a creative, so I create concepts. What I do, I come up with names. The glory of God, God gives me names like these brands, you know. So what Steve is doing in terms of that, and vis-a-vis what certain creative people are doing, you know. So I like that aspect of the fact that he can stand on some places. I can talk. I want to go have some conversation with Nike guys. I mean, I have some ideas. Do you want to fund it? Do you want to partner? So I see that. So those three people have really influenced me in terms of, for me, I think Steve is showing me what is possible in terms of my dream for media, what is possible for media, because through media now is mentoring people. So yeah, and I know it's a gift of God in terms of presentation. When I was in uni, even when I'm presenting rubbish, my lecturer like, wow, that's such a great one. You know, I just think it was a gift. I remember, let me say this story, it was so funny. I was in the bank and my GM gave us an assignment to read a book. And then you see, when I say the Holy Spirit is not just for goosebumps, it's great. We can give you goosebumps and fire and fall. I do all of that, but it does more. Those things are for something. Read that book. So I read the summary, Sam, and I got to the meeting that day, and man said, "We have read the execution. We have read the book." Everybody kept quiet. Those people said, "You read it." We didn't know I was going to punish everybody, so I raised my hand and I came out and I said, "Okay, go ahead." I said, "Hello, everyone." And from children's church, I'm the one that reads Hebrews 11 and come out and say Hebrews 11. And I look at everybody. I wonder why I'm looking at them. And I'm pointing at them, just being dramatic, you know. So I got and I said, the art of execution, something like that. And I said, the book is divided into 5 parts. There's chapter. That is not summary I read. So by the time the Holy Spirit helped me to package and I delivered the man, like, wow, where did you go? Wow. And everybody was punished but me. And that singular act, and I want to say this quick, I just felt very impressed on my heart. A lot of people don't know how to put their best foot forward. All right. God is not going to do that for you. You must learn to put your best foot forward. It is not eye service. It said the gift of a man will make way for him. That gift is not just spiritual gift. It means your act of generosity, the ability to apply sense, the ability to put your best foot forward. You're going for an interview. You don't know who you're going to be. Put your best foot forward. That singular act, Sam, there's nothing you want to say to that man. That the message did not finish NPR. He doesn't care. Then you say he has me. I need somebody. My child wants to do radio. Anybody? Me. Wow. I know some people. My goodwill bank. Wow. I went to pull it out. The daughter got a placement with Inspiration FMP. I'm like, wow, who is this girl? So I play to my strengths. I develop my weak areas. I play to my strength. You won't catch me wanting my strengths. I develop my wanted areas. So because I'm learning to listen, so even if I don't know your industry, if I sit down with you, I can have conversations because I'll ask the right questions, I will engage, and it's the help of the Holy Spirit. So learn to put your best foot. And because of that, we did appraisal. And this month we turned my appraisal. I said, no, you scored that low, increase her. She's an exceptional, she's an high flyer. And when I left, he came to my office the day I was leaving. If you ever want to come back, make sure you call me. It wasn't just because I was punching the right numbers. Wow. It was a combination. You are a combination of a lot. Wow. So don't just put the area that says not good. So put your best foot forward. So these are the things that these people inspire me. And I see Steve. Steve made a mistake with the Miss Universe. Yeah. And he said the story, how he turned around that Miss Universe, how God helped him to turn around that era of Miss Universe. You can do the same thing. Put your best foot forward. Yeah, so those are 3 people. Wow. My G. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget you can send your questions to Imisi. We still have some good time, at least 15 minutes we still got with her. And I'm loving the fact that Imisi is punching the right words. It's so powerful. One thing she just said that I love, put your best foot forward.
God will not come down to do that for you. It's very important because some of us are so caught up in our religiosity that we're not being the best at the game. We're not being the best at the craft. You're not being the best on the assignment. One thing I always believe in, when you call my name, when you cannot doubt my deliverables, you cannot doubt that I will deliver the job. That one is very key. So whatever you choose to do as a job, as a vocation, as a skill, as a passion, as a whatever, make sure that you are being the best at it. Don't come and spiritualize this and try to do abracadabra. No, know your craft well. Be a Daniel. Let them say that when it comes to this one, no, this person is on top of his or her game. There's something Imisi does effortlessly. And I'm saying this to those of you that are in ministry. I can see Pastor Jeff is here. I can see Reverend Purity is here. I can see Bemi Babatunde is here. I see Tega is here. Some of you that are into ministry, Imisi is very good with systems and structure. She's actually a thorough consultant. You know what? She said something in passing. I don't know if you caught it. Imisi is so strategic. When she listens to you, you know, there's this meeting we had in Abuja. One time Imisi came. I won't mention the location, you know, and we were discussing with that business owner. And Imisi was drawing some sketches on the whiteboard. And I was like, this is my girl. So don't be so deceived that she's a pastor. She just they do pulpit work. When it comes to the business, you can count on her. She's strategic. She's a fantastic strategist. So some of you here who are in ministry, who want systems, who want to set up structure, who have issues with staffing, Missy is very experienced with taking care of staffing issues. She can help you identify your staff. And you know, she said something earlier. She said, she will fire you if you are not performing. That's how professional Imisi is. So Imisi works across industries. I'm saying this because it's okay to reach out to her. It's okay to ask her to help you. Very, very, very important. I have two more questions for you, my G. If nobody is asking, I would ask two more questions. Number one, if there was a chance or if there was a possibility of starting all over again, what would you do differently?
I will rest. I will rest and trust. I will rest in trust. I would rest in trust and just steward every season right. Sometimes we're so in a hurry for the next that we miss out on the moment. Wow. We're so big on capturing the next. We're not living the moment. Wow. And I thank God for the fact that God gave me grace to enjoy seasons. But I'm looking back and I just wish, you know, those times where they say maybe they sleep, where they sleep, and just they do as if no world won't end. When work reach, then you realize that the God that said you should rest in that season was very wise. Wow. Was very wise. I would have documented some things earlier. So I want to say this, that a lot of people need to learn that God is big on documentation. I would document earlier. I mean, some of the things that we're doing, like I said, so some things that if you read the God's General, I didn't mention. People that moment. So if there's anything, I would capture moments earlier. I remember one of the meetings we had, I'm like, should we do video? I said, well, let's just do. But I see now that capturing moments is as important. I mean, if you find a way to do it. All right. Thank you. Ensuring, I thank God for the Holy Spirit to help me to push beyond the limiting mindset. My God, because anything I fought is religious mindset. No matter how painful the truth is, I look for it. So that's the flip side of things I've learned. I let me be crying like this, be telling you like that. I mean, that's religion. I'm looking for truth. I'm hungry for truth. So that's why I'm always delivered. Because I'm hungry for truth. God in his mercy will always deliver me. So for instance, what I said about rest. So God creates seasons again where I can then, you see, so I'm still working it out. I'm working it out, So I said rest, and that rest is the fact that God knows what he's doing. I can tell you for free. There's some things we're doing now. It's not in the plan. Some people saw the things, good to God for them. I'm happy for them. But I can tell you that some things, like I said, I love languages. Now I have to go back and learn that French. Say if I had known that French, I wanted to use it for traveling and be an interpreter, but God was going to use it for ministry. I would have gone back. I would have kept my French. He told me to do it. So I have studied my French. So another thing is to maximize every season, learn everything. Don't discredit knowledge. It has helped me, but there's some that I allowed to slip on my hand. For instance, this is my French. I allowed to. Okay, now I was going to French village. I get up to French village. I was going to go and do my diploma. I just chopped it, but I left it. I don't enter school. It's okay. Wow. Do you understand? So
Wow.
I'm embracing to learn everything this season. So if you are a pastor, a leader, or you are anything, you meet somebody beside you that is has a knowledge. My partner Tolush is into energy and stuff. Now I didn't do science, but I'm learning now. She sent a document that I'm learning. I realized I'm learning. Be hungry for knowledge. Be hungry for knowledge. So if I start again, I'm going to rest. I'm going to enjoy and learn every season. I remember when I left the bank and I didn't know I was going to go into branding for a season. And I saw that thing they were teaching us, that MPR, was part of branding. I learned from that, but if I had paid more attention, I don't need to go and carry over that course again after I left the bank. So this, I don't need it to, no, sometimes, let me tell you this, God knows that your strength is your strength. So I tell people, when God takes you on a detour, embrace it.
Correct.
Your strength is your strength. So God knew I was going to do ministry, right? Full time. And then the other thing will be add-on. Some was saying there are a lot of things I could do, but Lord, in this season, I don't. So I do them under the key. And it's blessing me. Because eventually it's going to be a premium thing. So God knows I will go into ministry. He put a detour. I worked in different places. And one of the places I worked was in the bank. When I was going to the bank, it didn't make sense to anybody. Sam knows now. One person stopped talking to me. One of just like, I said I will support you. But God knew I didn't need a man to support you. You need to learn.
Yes.
So it took me on a detour. After a great encounter that I would do XYZ, it took another road. But one of the things that happened to me, and I was talking about system, I learned how not to lead and how to lead in the bank. Wow. That's a life course that I could not have paid for. Wow. I saw it firsthand. Wow. How people do work, how believers are at work, how they are in church. I say everything with this. I saw how people can rush to church. They will give excuse to come for church. I saw how systems, there's a reporting template, there's a reporting line. I started documenting for ministries. I remember when I was in church consulting, which I still do. Okay, do like this, put this. So we're not perfect there, but we're learning. Every day we're improving our system. There's a reporting line, there's something, and all. So what I'm saying is this: take every season in. And that's one things I've learned. If I was going to do it again, I'll rest, enjoy every season, and learn. Don't waste anything. That friend, if they pay me now, because now to go start again. Hi. You see now, wow.
Wow, my G, my goodness. Kai, God bless you. There is a question from Princess Udwa. Princess Udwa is tuning in all the way from Dubai. She's one of our most powerful family members in our tribe. Always also a very generous person. She's asking, what are some mistakes you've made, if any, and how did you navigate through them?
One of the things was identifying people, discerning people rather. So there are people that come into your space. At least I can remember one top of my head, and the Lord told me this person was never to serve. This person was here to be fed. Wow. So because the mistake we make is people come around. You must love people more than what they can do. You love them enough to bench them. Love them enough to bench them. All right. So I'm in that space where no matter how people, oh my God, go with that. some situations that didn't need to happen, like one or two rather, was quite painful that didn't need to happen because maybe I was, defining my access well, meaning I had to go back to the template of there's the 1, there's the 3, there's the 12, there's the 70, there's the crowd. I have to go back to the place of know the people you are teaching, know the people you are discipling, know the people you are, I had to learn it because some people are attracted to light. Everything is attracted to light. Even the things that will injure the light is attracted to light. So you have to learn that right and then come into the place where, so how did I do it? I spoke to God about how I feel per time. I'm very real with God. I don't cover anything and I'm very accountable. So I have people that, in fact, the devil cannot try to put me in shame because I will tell. So the moment I tell, you go over. The moment I tell, I mean, it's over. Like, chicken my point. Like, it's over. You can't mistakenly try to say, you see you. I was telling you, look at what the devil said to me. I thought, no, you see devil. So I surround, and that's the word for somebody. Don't be too wild about who you are.
Wow.
That you can't be people. Don't be too wild. Don't make friends based on so you can come and speak on my platform. You can make right connections. So I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm happily doing it. Like I don't feel used because I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying the connections I have with certain people. I've learned now to define. So when that situation happened, right, I and then learning never to build structure around people. Structure, let people plug into it. Structure. When you are creating that structure, don't be thinking that it's this person that will feel it. So I had to learn. So I spoke to God about it and asked for the Lord. God told me to go and meet the person. I had a conversation. We spoke. It was changing certain things, right? And the other, so I've used certain things. So in doing something, sometimes I bypassed our structure just to that urgency to help. I've bypassed some structure and it came back biting me. So what I've done is the urgency can be there. Let me get some the team. It's called you to take it out because the Holy Spirit is actually a structured God. And the idea is you must submit everything to God. So any God that creates structure says suspend it. I don't want to teach. I want to sing. Who are you? You accept. When God that created your life, say, you know what? Leave that job, start this business, or stay in that job and do the business. You are able to. So the problem is you have always been at the extreme. You want structure and think you can. God is bigger than your structure. Your mind is just able to contain that. And then sometimes you think the Holy Spirit is just very scattered. Every time he used to throw chair, it means that he doesn't like serenity. No, that's not true. It's not either or. You need to go with God for time. So that's the mistake I made. And I learned that, you know what, to send people right, let people go through your process. No one should just come into your space, even at your organization. Send them right. Sometimes I've learned familiarity will stop people. So create a structure that does not allow familiarity, yet there's an open structure where people can be themselves. But the moment you see, and keep tweaking that structure, keep tweaking, don't get caught up. Don't be, we have done this for 10 years. Oh my God, I feel failing. No, keep tweaking it and to help you. That's how I've learned to deal with that. It was such a painful experience. But
IG, one question just popped my head now, even though I'm supposed to be asking you your last question, but let me ask this question. Because you're good with consulting, I've seen you, one thing I can say about you for real is you have a clean heart. You will say objective reasoning with a very loving approach. I have a challenge with some business owners, how they treat their staff. So as you are speaking now, it just popped in my head, and I want you to say a word to employers. I want you to say a word to employers and how they treat their staff, because I do not know the extent that God will take this video. When we put it on YouTube, it may have far-reaching spread. I want someone somewhere as an employer to hear what your take is on how to treat your staff, because it's a virus or a cancer that is destroying businesses. So in 2 minutes, what's your word to an employer with respect to how they treat their staff?
It just shows it's a reflection of who you are. It is a reflection of who you are, and it's a reflection of your work with God. You can't say you know God and love God and treat people badly. So it's not even how to treat your staff is even secondary. The first, how do you treat humans? You can't afford to have selective honor. Selective honor is no honor. That selective honor is the honor of people that are up there, people that the governor comes to your office, you're able to say, sir, welcome, sir, you are great, sir, you're exalted, sir. But the cleaner comes in and you treat them shabbily. Let me give this example to tell you why you never treat anybody anyhow. David got to this place, I think 1 Samuel 30, I believe, and they've sacked Ziklag, meaning they've taken his family, the place gone, everyone gone. He came back with the men. It was so bad that these mighty men that's been with him, that he took from nothing, wanted to kill him. And David was able to still inquire of the Lord, glory to God, that regardless of the pressure, you don't go away from the place of devotion, right? And God said, he said, shall I pursue? He said, pursue. You recover all and, all of those things. And get this, God did not tell him, this is the way. So he started out. Maybe there was a knowing, go this way. As he was going, God saw there was a slave by the road. Picture this, guys. He was under pressure to go and rescue his family, whether they are dead. These guys wanted to kill him, yet he could not look away from someone that needed help. So he saw that slave man. That means God could trust that the generous heart of David will be his navigating point, it will be his compass to finding where his family is. Because that slave he helped was one that told him where they took his family to. That slave is a product of a wicked boss. The slave's boss maltreated the slave and dropped him on the road to die. Another person that is not yet his boss saw the slave, fed the slave, and found victory to even conquer his former boss. So the person you despise is you pushing away a door or something. I mean, for me, that was a scripture that David didn't have to. David was under pressure, but because he's a kind person, he saw that, I can still take out time to answer this person. And that's why I'm very upset with believers that drive anyhow, talk anyhow, treat people anyhow. It's only pastor you honor. It's only people that have money you honor. It's only good people. The idea, if you take honor the way God teaches it, the way the Bible teaches it and Christ teaches it, we will not have this problem. It means honor all man. That Uber driver, that gates man, that cook. So when you are doing that, it becomes your nature. See, no matter how hard you step on a cockroach cannot bleed. Why? A cockroach does not have the capacity to bring out blood. All right. So pressure reveals who you are. You can't tell me you're under pressure. I remember one day I had a meeting with one of my team, and what's it called? I was really upset with my EA. I've never been. I was angry. I said, shut up. And I said, yeah, you have a right to be angry, but you need to apologize, because that's not who you are. That is a deformed expression. That's not who you are. You can communicate who you are. You can communicate what you're trying to say without getting angry. Bible says, get angry, don't sin. Darling, you've entered that place. Oh yeah. So I sent a message. I am sorry. I am very angry. I am sorry. So this is where people get it wrong. They feel like, if I'm not asked, no, you don't have to be a monster to instill discipline. You don't have to be inhuman to insist that I'm giving you. So one of my staff, I told him, I said, listen, what you've done, you require a query. So I'm going to send you a query, but we are good, right? Say, yes, PI, we're good. I sent him a query. Do this, I'll deduct from your salary. We're good, all right? So that people can say, my boss does not take nonsense, but you cannot take away that she's kind.
Correct.
So when a girl did something very funny and left, I was so pained. But I said to God, God judged me on this matter. God said, yeah, you're angry. Yeah, what he did was unfathom. Because guess what? You see, let it go. You did your best in good faith. You did your best. Let it go. So what am I saying? Treat your boss well. Look at it from scripture. You need to be kind to people. You don't know whether that's the door
to the miracle. You're praying, God, send helper. You don't know if that's the helper. You don't know. Someone said, I think it was, someone said, be angry at that driver. You say, he's not doing well. You're shouting at that driver. One day that driver will just go and drive into the wall and all of you die. You will not see that the man that you're treating anyhow has the power to hold your life.
Wow.
So treat people well, because that's how they will know that you're truly a Christian, not by your tongues, but the way you live is by the fruits we know that you know God.
My G, Kai, I've unleashed you today. God is so faithful. Guys, I told you guys, I met Imisi 2006. I cannot forget. I saw that tiny girl walking into that church. I said, who be this girl? Confident. She was going to the altar with children. I said, who is this girl? They are doing this or this. I said, who be this tiny? When I now met her, how are you? We're talking. The way Missy was talking to me, you go to say, now my mentor. Thank you, somebody. I said, I just knew that day that no, I will not let you go in this life. And I'm so glad. It's a privilege, Missy. It's a privilege.
Thank you,
people
God.
have been sending me private messages. I need to contact her. I need to reach her. I need to this one. I need to that one. My G, I want you to say your contact, but even after that, you're going to type it in the chat room. Whatever you want our participants here to have, whether it's WhatsApp number or email or website, whatever you want us to have, please share your contacts. I want everyone here who is interested in reaching you to be able to reach you. I don't need anybody coming asking me later, who was she? How can I reach her? Please let us have your details, please.
All right. So you say, can you mentor? Wait, that's my boo. That's my boo. Okay, so Maureen is on the call too, so she'll help me as I'm saying the things, she'll begin to type it. So now for a lot of people that have sent message that please, can you how best can you mentor and everything? I tell people the way I do it, I believe in discipleship. I believe in discipleship not just by words, by doing life together. So with the big things we do, this 6 a.m. I'm telling you about, there have different people from different parts of the world join us. That's where we pray together and I speak and I just declare, release words. So we it's not just about it covers all ground. How to be a better wife, how to be a better, how to vehicle for transformation. Businesses are vehicle for transformation. All right. So that's where I do transformational. I'm leading my mandate to raise intercessors, revivalists, and transformational leaders. So Maureen is going to drop the website for that, right?
Yeah.
www.iara.org and our social media handle, and there's a link. And then my Instagram page is at ImisiOluwa, at ImisiOluwa Owolabi. On my Instagram page, you will see links, different links. My YouTube, where you can get some of my teachings, speakings, at ImisiOluwa Owolabi on YouTube, at CFOLC Hope Center on YouTube, and at IARA Global on YouTube. So those are places where I teach. If you have Spotify, you can see some of my things on ImisiOluwa Owolabi International. Maureen, please, I hope you're typing all those things. I trust that you do that.
I can't see Maureen on the call. I think maybe her
Maureen's not on the call.
Yeah,
okay, I'll type it.
Yeah, her network may have.
Maybe her network is bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll write it when I'm done. Then another thing that we can yeah. So those are the platforms by which I'm good with mails. I prefer mails. So you can send me a message at hello@ImisiOluwa. Sorry. Hello@ImisiOluwa. Moving to a platform is almost like where we're gonna having communities, and I'm big on community, so we run a community platform. We have a Telegram group and everything. However, in January, we're moving to a more sophisticated platform where you don't have to be on Telegram or anything, and you can pick your interests, the sphere you're interested in. Like I said, I'm privileged to lead people on different mountains, so media, art, and entertainment. So we're doing that in January by grace of God. I also share that with Sam once it is done. But those are the places where you can reach and all. But every day, Monday to Saturday, you can connect with me 6 a.m. on Zoom.
Yes, I want to talk about that Monday to that 6 a.m. session. It's such a... Last week, I was privileged to share, last week or 2 weeks ago, I was privileged to share on that platform. I want to encourage everyone here, especially if you're a faith person, you're interested in building your work, prayer life, you're listening to the word and getting prophetic declarations, 6 a.m. via Zoom. I've shared Imisi's IG handle. So that's one fastest way you can follow the updates on that prayer and that session. So just follow her handle. Follow, it's a Zoom call, very vibrant, very inspirational. That morning, I was really charged up. I was one that was meant to speak, but I left more charged up than the talk I went to talk. So it's such a powerful platform. I will still wait for Emisi to share other details in the chat room while we wrap up for this first session. This first session has come to you as one of my give back to society. I call this the mini summit with Coach Sam. And I find it a very huge honor to have hosted all of you so far. We had about 230 registrations for this session, and I do not know why we have just about 38 people on the live call, which is very okay by me. We also are live streaming on Facebook as we speak, which is still very, very okay, you know, by me. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined this session. Our mini summit has been sponsored by Rehoboth Center for Elderly Care, and we have been sharing the details and the links for that platform. We hosted earlier the founder who spoke for a few minutes. We're still going to have her back in the second segment. This session continues at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, we're continuing, and it's going to run from 2 to 5 p.m. 2 to 5 p.m. is the second segment of this session. And then we're also going to have a third segment today that runs from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's a whole day of engagement with different speakers. Our next set of speakers, should I reveal their names or should I just keep it secret? Okay, let me just mention their names of our next speakers. So when we come back at 2 o'clock, when we reconvene at 2 o'clock, we're going to have Dorothy Hirsey, the author of We Say Their Name, a grief counselor and therapist, and also a versatile food specialist. And then we're also going to have Tunde Rema. Of course, if you know me, you know Tunde, a very general when it comes to the subject matter of CBT and mental health. And then we're going to have Celine Unogu, the founder of Celine Unogu Vision Academy, one of the, I think the first visioning academy in West Africa, where they discuss belief systems and mind clearing and all those other works around the law of attraction. So it promises to be another engaging block of time starting at 2 o'clock. At this point, I'm going to once again thank my speakers, Emmanuel, Olatunji, EGA, and ImisiOluwa, Owolabi. I find your time very gratifying. Thank you for honoring me with your platform, your presence, and your word. I believe that everyone who joined on this call has taken something. If you have taken something, please share your gratitude in the chat room. Just say something, say something. Appreciate Imisi in the chat room. And I would like you to reach out. She has shared all the contact details you have asked for. Please copy everything, her website, her handle, the other website, copy everything. You need to copy it, or nobody should come and ask me privately for Imisi's contact, or I will not answer you. So please make sure you have copied everything she has shared, and you can reach Imisi directly by yourself. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please set your reminders. We'll reconvene at 2 o'clock. The same link, the same passcode, the same channels. Thank you, and see you at 2 o'clock. God bless you.